Alright, good morning. Little Fleabay edition here. I normally say we're going to have a quick little Fleabay edition, but they always end up being about a half an hour, so we're not even going to say how long it's going to be, but we're going to have a Fleabay edition. So let's just jump into this and start off with Atlas Shapers. I've not looked at any of this stuff yet. Atlas 7B metal shaper crank gear shaft pulley 10-80 4-step 3/4 inch bore, $89.99. No, you're smoking dope. This seems to be a lot of about what they're going for. Let's go in and look at this, see who's selling it. Yeah, a guy that I haven't seen anything from a little bit, but he's a seller that's been around here. Um, these pulleys, they don't show up a tremendous amount of the time, but it's a $50 pulley, 49.99. I won't go into it any more than that, but there it is, just a standard pulley, nothing spectacular about it. There's several pictures of it, but we won't even bother to go through. There's no sense. $50 pulley. You know, vintage. These are vintage stuff, so I'm assuming these are going to be all from the same seller from looking at the listings and the backgrounds and stuff. Shaper feed and ratchet gear S7-86, $34.99. And these supposedly have free shipping. You know, I'm not going to go and look at this either. 20 bucks. These things don't go bad. You don't see them unless you don't have one at all, and if you don't have one at all, why, you don't need one. So the ratchet gear case housing, $49.99. Here's another one. These don't break. You don't, there's no tension on them. They're just the housing. So you don't see them go bad. $49.99 is probably a fair price if you do need one, but there's no sense in spending that on it. And they've got more of the gear case housings and stuff. Now here they've got the S725D. They want $100 for it. No, this is just another casting. Shouldn't be worth any more than the housing above it. You know, there again, no sense in going in and looking at these. This is just a machine that's being parted out, and you know, so the parts that you might actually need on these are the parts that are not going to be available because they've broken too. So why buy any of this junk? Ratchet gear case S7-22D, $124.99. No, the whole housing assembly, all of the last four parts, if you include the gear and everything, should be worth $100, $125, something like that. 7B shaper knee work table S7-6, $199.99. Let's go look at this just because we can. I see some staining. This is all from the same seller. What's the description say? In good working condition, but has scratches, signs of use, dings, and surface marks. Okay, now there again, this guy's saying, you know, he's got some fancy name for his machine tool company. So let's just look at the big pictures on this and see what it is. It's a standard table. It's been, you know, everything stripped off of it. Apparently you're buying only the table, which would be normal. And it's got some dings, got quite a bit of staining. It's had a vise sitting on it. That looks like a vise imprint there, you know, from the standard shaper vise, or rotary table for that matter. Going to be normal. It's got normal wear and tear. There's nothing really wrong with the table that I see. It's beat to crap there. Yeah, it's been beat up pretty good on the front of it. Why do you need a table? You know, the reality is there's no reason at all to replace the table you've got. If you've got, and this one's been well used and abused, it's had stuff mounted to the side of it, which is fine to plane with, but you can see the holes are kind of pulled a little bit and kind of chewed up around in those areas. So the reality is you resurface the table yourself if you're reworking your machine. So why in the world would you replace the table? You know, no reason to whatsoever. This is kind of typical of Atlas castings. You know, I've had some guys say that they just had excellent castings and everything. Got quite a bit of porosity right there, you know, which doesn't affect anything. But these castings are not always the best castings in the world. You know, they're fully functional. They work fine. They've worked for the last 50 years, 75 years, whatever. But they're a ragged casting. See, that's a cord hole, but there's some fallout there and everything. That's why a lot of the times I don't get too excited when guys say that, maybe some other castings aren't as good or they've got higher quality castings here. That's not an exceptional casting by any means. So what they are is what they are. So is it worth $100? No, it's worth 75 bucks. Here again, here's the feed ratchet case rods and bushings, a 7-79 pre-owned. They want 40 bucks. These are not worth 40 bucks individually, and we can look at these two and kind of pick them apart. These are the same linkages that are used on the counter shaft on the lathe. Well, look at the big pictures here. We don't even need to look at the description. These linkages are the same for the lathe counter shafts. Anything in the Atlas line from this era that uses these linkages, the linkages are all the same. The bushings that are in the end of them will vary from the application. So depending on what machine and where they're mounted, they'll be different there. Now this one's got the bolt on the end, which big deal. But anyway, these arms themselves are worth 10 bucks, probably 10, 12 bucks is all they're worth. $15 in your door. So if you look at the combination of them, maybe they're worth 40 bucks, but why would you need a combination of them? You're never going to have to replace more than one of these if you had damaged one or something that's broken anyway. So the bushings and the ends are junk. You're going to replace them with a $4 bushing from your big box store, your local Ace Hardware, whatever the case may be. And see, they're giving you this chewed up bolt that does mount it. You do need that, but why would you be replacing it? And that one doesn't look to be in any great shakes. The bushings, the back of this bushing is all chewed up and everything. These are not worth 40 bucks. For the pair of them, they're worth 20 bucks. That's all they are. 25 bucks in your door. So don't get sucked in by these crooks. Cross slide rail, lead screw and gear, 90 bucks. Now this is all just parts off of these machines. The grease cup, $26.99. No, these grease cups complete are worth 20 bucks. 15 bucks is all that grease cup's worth. Same way with your headless set screws and nuts. You go there again, your local big box store, you buy them locally, you turn the head down. It's not that big a lathe project to turn, so you've got a dog point on there. Those are the half height screw or nuts to lock them on there. These are not used ones. They're worth 5 bucks. 5 bucks is what they're worth. There again, the wipers and retainers, 20 bucks, not 34. 20 bucks. Okay, here's the index head, and this is up for bid. Let's see, is this from the... Okay, this is a different seller. Got a little bit of feedback. I don't recognize them. This is the 7B index center for the, it says milling machine. It's not. It's for the whole description, or the whole title reads Atlas Metal Shaper 7B Index Centers Milling Machine Atlas. This is the shaper index head. Good used as pictures with normal wear and tear, some marks. They're starting the bidding at 450 bucks and 25 bucks shipping. Let's read the description. Rare. It's rare, guys. Rare. Atlas Index Centers, good used, comes with pictures, has 30, 36, and 23, 48 hole plates. So you're missing one hole plate, I believe. I believe that's a 3-plate set. I produced the plates, but I believe it's a 3-plate set. I'd have to look. Atlas Metal Shaper 7B, Atlas Milling Machine, MFC Indexing Centers Mill. No, it's the shaper only. This is not for the... Now you could probably put them on the mill, but it's not for the MFC or for the index centers. So let's go back and look at the big pictures of this, and we'll pick this apart. This is a interesting index head. Is a used one worth 450 bucks. Now it's maybe 250, just because you don't see that much. I've started patterns for this too, but I haven't pushed them. Not a big deal. I'm not really ready to start casting cast iron yet, so I haven't pushed them too hard. That's just a standard drive dog. That's not the index, or that's not the Atlas dog that goes with it. And as I said, I believe it takes 3 plates. It's got 3 plates. This only has 2 with it. It's a good set of index centers from the looks of it. There's no key in the bottom to align it. This would normally take a key that will align with the table on the shaper, and you can't tell anything from that picture at all. Pictures are okay. They're not exceptionally good. This should have the standard little ball handle on the end to run it. I don't know. You can't really see. Maybe I'll go back and look at the other pictures. Looks like somebody's that's been run into with tooling. Looks like this is the proper part. Looks to be complete. Not sure what those two holes are. I don't recognize those normally as being on the casting, but you never know over the years what's happened. And like I say, this originally had just I believe it was a clamp-on drive dog that went on here, was original to it. Let's go back and look at these a little bit closer. Otherwise, it looks to be complete. You know, I mean, I can't really trash on it. It looks to be in relatively good condition. I'm not sure what's going on with that end. This end down here would have had I believe that had a set screw in it to hold the center in place. And you can't really tell. It's been run into with tooling of some sort or been crashed into the machine. But you can't really tell exactly if that's something protruding off of that index center going back towards where it is, or that looks like that's a cut is what that is. There again, nothing really wrong with the centers. That picture is just kind of, I guess, showing you the number, but that's a worthless picture. Yeah, we should have one of the standard Atlas little ball handles up there on the top to lock the lock rotation instead of just a nut, square-headed nut. That's somebody's abomination they put on there. There's a nut that locks the index centers or the index wheels on the back. I don't think I saw a picture of that at all. Yeah, that's been crashed there at the back end. It's in the normal condition you see them in. Like I say, there's nothing functionally wrong with it as I see it. Oh yeah, there is a nut to lock the index wheels on the back. Nothing wrong with it, you know, perfectly functional. Is it worth 450 bucks? No, it's worth half, 250 bucks, which is a little more than half, but that's all it's worth, you know. Don't get cheated. Here we're back, I think, to the same seller that's parting out that Atlas here. He's got all the rest of the parts. Here's the ratchet disc gear, so S7-68A. He wants 100 bucks for it. No, you don't need them. They don't wear out. Here's the ratchet, the feed ratchet gear, S7-81, $129.99. No, it's worth 30 bucks. Okay, here is a 7B. Now this is the shaper feed ratchet gear case cover, S7-23D. He wants 250 bucks for it. This is the one guys have. Yeah, same seller, and this is the part that would normally break. This is the feed gear part that you would normally be looking for. Guys have 3D printed these. They're crap as far as I'm concerned. Vintage Atlas 7B metal shaper feed ratchet gear case cover, a 7-23D, in good working condition, but has scratches, signs of use, dings, and service marks. Please view all pictures. Please let me know if you're unhappy. For 250 bucks, I'm already unhappy. Yep, touting himself as a machine tool outfit. Let's look at the big pictures of this, see what it shows us. Got the proper left-right handle in it. Looks like we're chipped up here. Now we've got this normally. Let's look at the rest of these pictures and see. You can't really tell anything from that picture. Everything still looks okay. It's apparently got the internals because we're seeing the inside of the little flipper dog from the inside. Okay, it's coming with the bolt. Bushing's going to be wore out. If you're spending that much money, it needs to be redone. Can't tell what's happening there. That's probably fine, but it looks a little hokey. I want to see the other side of this cover here. There's the other side right there. And that's what we want to look at. We'll go back and look at that closer. That's where they're going to break. If they've been crashed, that's where they break, is right through this corner. And as I said before, they're junk. You throw them away. So it looks okay. You know, I mean, it looks fine. I don't see a problem with it as far as functionality. Yeah, this is okay here. So you're getting the complete cover, case cover. It's not worth 250 bucks. It's worth half. Half. This is a desirable part, but not for 250 bucks. Okay, this one's not cracked out, so this would be a good cover. But there again, it's too much money. It's worth half, 125 bucks. $125. Once you get to this point where you're looking for this handle, it doesn't matter if it's got the internals in it or not. You know, maybe with the handle and the internal components, maybe it's worth 150 bucks. You know, we'll be generous and say it's worth 150. A little more than half, but it's not worth 250. Nope. And if you are to buy these, I would recommend you go back, you replace the bushings in the housings themselves, and you got to be careful so you don't bust them out there. But no, 150 bucks with all the goodies. Now here's the same seller. Now here is the rocker shaft brake handle lever, S7-57, you know, $64.99. I think that's a reasonable price. You know, 50, 60 bucks for those. That I think is a fair price for that part. I won't read the description. It's got the brake rubber on it. It's got the handle. That would be the proper chromed handle, I believe. The ones I've seen that are original have that little bit of knurling on them. You know, I think that's a reasonable priced part. There's a pin that locks it to the shaft. Yeah. If he wasn't parting out a good machine, I would say you're doing pretty good here. But yeah, see, I think that's a reasonable price for that component. But it's not really one that's necessary. I don't know that I've ever seen one of these break either, but that's a fairly decent replacement for a used part if you need it. So, you know, that's what I say. These guys will just kind of value them wherever they think they can get away with. It's got the counter shaft bracket here. He wants 90 bucks. I think that's a little high. I'm not going to go look at it. S721 and S7-20, but it's not too far out of line. Here's the counter shaft pulley, 65 bucks. Are we okay here, or are we chewed up a little bit on the edge there? I think it's a little bit wonky from looking at it. I'm not sure that's 100% straight and true to the world. See if it says anything in the description. That probably wouldn't be well, it says it's in good working condition, has signs of use, dings and surface marks. I speculate the edge of that is a little bit wonky. But you can't, there again, you can't really tell 100% from the pictures. You know, so that may be a little bit misleading. See, it almost looks like we're not really, and it could be the pictures, but it looks like we might be a little bit out of round, which it won't be out of round, but it'll mean these edges are dinged, so your pulleys may not, it may not be true to the world. It's tough to tell from those pictures. I would see it looks like it's been whacked here, I think. but you don't get a real good, to me that's kind of misleading pictures. Even though there's lots of pictures, there's not really a good indication that that looks a little wavy. I think I would probably pass on that. This is the pulley that if they've had a fall over and busted the guard, the smaller guard, why this is a pulley that would be damaged along with it. So, and that's one thing we haven't seen parts off of the shaper, and maybe we will if we continue on down here. And I'm not going to stop. We've looked at enough of these. If you're interested in this stuff, you can go back and look. Here's a door hinge for the larger guard. They want $50 for it. That's about a $30, used condition, $25-$30. That's what that's worth. Got an oil tray here for $149.99. A 7-107. $149.99. Let's look and see what it is. That's about what I sell a reproduction for. This is one that's been drilled all the way through, which there again doesn't affect anything. Just let's just look at the big pictures here. Looks okay from the initial pictures. I don't see anything really wrong with it. Yeah, it's a good oil tray. $150. That's about what I sell a aluminum reproduction for. So that's probably a decent buy. It's not a good buy. I think a used casting like that should be worth $75 or $100. But there again, if I'm selling a reproduction for more, why, it's probably fair. Okay. Whole clapper assembly, $250. Yeah, make your own decisions there. Motor mounts, $90. Yeah, see now here's vintage Atlas 7B metal shaper, Ace number 2060 tool bit holder shank, 0.86 by 35 inches. It must be 3.5 inches. $169.99. No, these tool holders are worth $100, $75 or $100. Bunch of dope smokers. Another one right below it, a couple down below it, $145 with no bids and $10, $9.75 shipping. I think this may be back to where we're looking. No, $75 or $100 for a used one. No. Bushings out of the linkage arms that we looked at the very beginning of this. $10.99 for a pair of used ones and $3.85 shipping. $7.99 and $3.85. I think we're back into stuff that I looked at before. You go to your big box store, you give $3.54 or even $5 a piece for these, and replace them with brand new bushings. Don't buy this used shit. Yeah, we've looked at this stuff before. Last week, I think. Now we're down into the used stuff. So, other than that index center, which everything I think for the most part is overpriced here. No. Half.